You are not finished, not even close. The version of you that makes excuses, stays scared, and gives up too soon. That version has no place in the life you're meant to live. If you don't let go of it, it will keep pulling you down. But if you kill it now, you open the door to real strength, real confidence, real freedom. It's your time. Don't waste it staying small. In a few moments, you will learn how to break free from weakness and step fully into the powerful life you deserve. You are not finished yet. You might believe that who you are today is the final version of yourself, but that is a tragic mistake. Life never demanded that you freeze into your current form. It demanded that you evolve, stretch, and grow. Growth is not a luxury reserved for the talented or the blessed. It is the duty you owe to yourself and the generations that will follow you. How then do you begin? You begin by admitting that the weak version of you is not the real you. It is merely a shadow, a hesitant whisper against the roaring potential placed within you. Imagine an acorn refusing to become an oak tree. What a waste. You are the oak, not the acorn. Each day you stay stagnant. You deny yourself the thrill of seeing what you can truly become. Your comfort zone is nothing but a beautiful prison, adorned with familiar patterns and predictable outcomes. Promises safety, but delivers mediocrity. True growth occurs at the edges of discomfort, where uncertainty meets courage. When you push past what you thought were your limits, you discover they were merely suggestions, boundaries drawn by fear, rather than capability. Remember when you first learned to walk? You fell countless times, yet never once did you conclude walking wasn't for you. That childlike persistence, the refusal to accept limitation, is still within you, waiting to be reclaimed. Your potential doesn't diminish with age. It expands with experience. Every challenge overcome adds to your arsenal of strengths. Every failure teaches lessons that success never could. The universe hasn't finished writing your story. There are chapters yet unwritten, talents yet undiscovered, and impacts yet unmade. To settle now would be to close the book prematurely. Look around at nature. Nothing in creation remains static. Rivers carve through mountains, seeds burst through concrete, and stars explode to birth new galaxies. You are part of this ever-evolving cosmos, not exempt from its fundamental law of transformation. So reject the notion that you have peaked. Dismiss the voice that whispers, "Enough." Embrace instead the exhilarating truth that your greatest self lies ahead, not behind. What dream have you abandoned? What skill have you neglected? What truth have you avoided? These are not random questions, but signposts pointing toward your next evolution. So ask yourself, are you willing to live and die as a faded version of yourself? Or will you rise with the fire of transformation and become the masterpiece you were born to be? The choice, my friend, is entirely yours to make. But know this, you are not finished yet. Not even close. Excuses are chains. You have built palaces of excuses brick by brick to protect the weaker self. But no fortress built on fear can save a soul meant to conquer. Excuses seduce you. They tell you, not today. Maybe later. I'm not ready. They dress themselves as wisdom, when in truth they are thieves, thieves that rob you of destiny. You must tear down that fortress with the hammer of action. Every time you hear the voice of excuse, act immediately in defiance. Do the thing you fear to do. Step boldly where you feel timid. These excuses whisper comfort but deliver stagnation. They promise protection but ensure mediocrity. The mind is masterful at creating rational-sounding justifications for inaction. I'll start when conditions are perfect. you say, not realizing perfect conditions never arrive. Each excuse adds another link to the chain that binds you. "I don't have enough time" becomes a permanent condition rather than a temporary circumstance. "I don't have the right connections" becomes an immovable barrier rather than a challenge to overcome. "I'm too old" or "I'm too young" places artificial boundaries on potential that has no age limit. Consider how many dreams lie buried in the graveyard of someday. How many lives of quiet desperation are lived because excuses were embraced rather than exposed. The tragedy isn't in failing. It's in never attempting because you've convinced yourself the attempt isn't worth making. Benjamin Franklin faced his weaknesses by creating a personal system of virtues, daily disciplined. He did not hide behind "not today." He built greatness, today and tomorrow and the day after. He understood that excellence is built through consistent action, not occasional inspiration. Your freedom lies in destroying excuses before they destroy you. When the voice of resistance rises, recognize it not as truth, but as fear, disguised as reason. The moment you feel reluctance is precisely when action becomes most valuable. Every champion, every innovator, every person of consequence has faced the same inner resistance you face. Now, what separates them is not talent or luck, but their refusal to negotiate with excuses. They act despite doubt, despite fear, despite imperfect circumstances. The most dangerous excuses are those that sound virtuous, waiting until you're more prepared, until you've learned more, until you've saved enough. These reasonable-sounding delays are still delays. Life does not pause while you prepare. It continues without you. Challenge yourself to live one day without a single excuse. Notice how different decisions emerge when "I can't" is removed from your vocabulary. Notice how capability expands when limitations are questioned rather than accepted. The chains of excuse tighten so gradually you barely notice their weight until they've immobilized you completely. Breaking free requires not gradual loosening, but decisive shattering. The bold declaration that from this moment forward, results matter more than reasons. Look within. What excuse have you been nurturing as truth? Are you brave enough to cut it at the root and stand victorious? Whatever justification you've clung to, whatever rationalization has kept you comfortable but small, name it, face it, and demolish it. Your potential awaits on the other side of excuses. Your greatness lies beyond the wall of "I can't." Your destiny unfolds when you exchange explanations for executions. The chains that bind you are of your own making. The key that unlocks them is in your hands. Comfort is a coffin. Comfort lulls you into a silent death. It is the poison that feels like honey, but kills like venom. The weak version of you is addicted to comfort, but you are called for conquest. Each step out of your comfort zone is a blow to the frailty within you. How can you destroy the addiction? Start small. Take the cold shower. Start the awkward conversation. Push 1 mile further than you think you can. Stretch yourself until discomfort becomes your new home, because greatness lives there. The human spirit was never designed for stagnation. Look at history's giants. They did not achieve immortality by nestling into routine. They clawed their way forward, bleeding if necessary, sacrificing comfort on the altar of achievement. Your muscles do not grow stronger without the burn of resistance. Your mind does not expand without the strain of challenge. Why then do you expect your character to develop while cushioned in ease? Comfort whispers seductive lies. You've earned a break. You deserve to relax. Why push when you can coast? These sweet deceptions mask a bitter truth. What you're really choosing is slow decay. The law of nature permits no middle ground. You're either growing or dying. advancing or retreating. Your ancestors did not have the luxury of comfort. They fought predators, survived winters, crossed oceans, and built civilizations, all while embracing discomfort as the price of survival. The comfort you cling to dishonors their struggle. It squanders the resilient DNA they fought to pass down to you. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, never comfortable. But he lit the world. He embraced discomfort while others curled up in their beds of excuses. What if he had stopped at failure 100 or 1000? The world would have waited longer for light. How many gifts are you withholding from the world because you refuse to endure temporary pain? The coffin of comfort has many chambers. The extra hour of sleep that dulls your edge. The easy conversation that avoids the important truth. Each seems harmless alone, yet together they embalm your potential, preserving you in a state of living death. Physically present but spiritually dormant. Break free. Feel the exhilaration of voluntary hardship. When you choose discomfort deliberately, you reclaim power over your circumstances. The cold shower you dread becomes a victory before your day begins. The difficult conversation you avoid becomes a bridge to deeper connection. The extra mile when your body screams to stop becomes testimony to your unconquerable will. Comfort creates a life of what if and if only. Discomfort forges a life of I did and I became. Which narrative will you author? Which legacy will you leave? The pages are blank, waiting for your choice. Every significant human advancement, art, science, technology, philosophy, was born from discomfort. Someone, somewhere, decided that the status quo was insufficient. They endured ridicule, failed, repeatedly worked while others slept, and persisted when logic suggested surrender. Will you trade eternal greatness for momentary ease? When you lay your head down tonight, will you sleep knowing you killed a weakness today, or will you cling to the fading comfort of good enough? Your legacy demands an answer. The coffin of comfort awaits us all eventually. Until then, live so vibrantly, strive so mightily, and embrace discomfort so completely that when death finally comes, it recognizes you not as one who has been practicing for the grave, but as one who has lived fully until the very end. Desire, without discipline, is dead. You wish to achieve. Yes, so do millions. Desire alone is not your savior. It is merely the spark. Without discipline, desire burns out quickly like a match in the wind. The stronger version of you lives in discipline, not desire. Discipline shows up after excitement fades. It drags you from bed when comfort begs you to stay. How to birth discipline. Anchor small daily wins to your deepest dream. Celebrate the consistency, not the intensity. The graveyard of potential is filled with brilliant minds who relied on passion alone. They began with fire in their eyes, hearts pounding with possibility, then vanished when the flame flickered. Desire is the lover that excites you. Discipline is the partner that sustains you. Both are necessary, but only one endures the winter seasons of achievement. Your desires change with the wind, strong today, forgotten tomorrow. They rise and fall with external triggers, a motivational video, an inspiring conversation, a glimpse of someone else's success. But discipline stands unmoved by these temporary currents. It is the quiet force that continues when emotion has abandoned ship. The world rewards consistency above all else. Average efforts applied consistently demolish brilliant efforts applied sporadically. The writer who produces one page daily will author volumes while the occasional genius sits paralyzed.